we're telling people and trying to educate people on this. Aviation's in a different place than other industries. Other industries, if there's no agreement in March 2019, will fall back on the world trade agreements. We do not. We've always been carved out. We're subject to different bilateral and multilateral agreements that provide the legal framework under which we fly all those flights to the UK, all the flights to the EU, and all the flights to the UK onward to the EU. Without that legal framework, we can't fly. The cargo can't come in and get shipped forward with all the parts needed in Europe or the parts needed here.
So the planes stay on the ground. It's as simple as that.
Yeah, hopefully it's not that simple. Our belief and our hope is that the economic imperative, given what aviation means to the UK economy, the US economy, and the EU economy, will lead to a quicker conclusion. Right now, the EU is committed to making it one big negotiation, and I think that's the stance that Great Britain is taking as well. We don't believe we can afford to be part of one great big pot that needs to be stirred over the next 20 months.
Now, we clearly have some big transatlantic alliances, British Airways and American Airlines, Lufthansa and United, for example, Air France and Delta. What would be the implication for those alliances?
Those alliances were created under the legal framework under which we currently fly, the EU-US Open Skies Agreement. Without that legal framework, again, those alliances could come under attack, and those alliances are responsible for creating an awful lot of travel that did not exist before, a great degree of connectivity. I just came from Madrid, and there are 12 million visitors from Great Britain to Spain every single year. That's replicated across the EU in various places. And without the kind of connectivity that exists under these alliances, that might not happen.
Now, you've been travelling around Whitehall, you've been into Number 10, you've been to the Department of exiting the EU. What sort of response are you getting from policymakers?
Positive. Positive. They understand that aviation is different. I do think, though, with all the other issues involved, the payment, citizens here, all the other industries, it's a big plate and a lot to chew on very quickly. So our purpose is to make sure that everyone understands and acts on the fact, because you do have to act on the fact that aviation is different, because we all rely on it. Where I grew up, nobody used to fly in the 60s and 70s. Then in the 80s, people start flying more, and everybody flies now, and it's like a public utility in many people's mind. It's there, they expect it. If it's not there, they're going to be very unhappy.